brings a whole new meaning to being comfortable in your own skin. Let's talk about it. What's up, people? Welcome back to Black Geek Cool. I'm your host, Gershon. Today we're doing a review of Lovecraft Country Episode 5, Strange Case. But before we dive into that, go ahead and hit that like button if you're listening to the YouTube version of this, or hit the 5 stars if you're listening to the audio version of this. It greatly helps the channel and the audio version, helps get new viewers, bumps you up in the algorithm, all that great stuff. And it's a great way for you to show your support and saying you like what I'm doing over here. Also, I'm about to spoil this episode, so if you haven't seen this episode, please go watch it first and then come back. Second thing, I realize I've been just basically recapping it, so I'm gonna try a little something different on this one. So let me know if you like it or not. If not, we'll go back to my somewhat of a recap I usually do, but we're gonna try something different on this one. So, first off, a lot of stuff was found out in this episode. Crazy new things we know about this world. Amazing. First, William is Christina. Christina is William. So technically Christina is being William. So that's a mind blown in itself. There also, Hillary was a lady from, I believe it's episode 2. She was the one with the dogs and the whistle. She's in this. So now she at, how did this metamorphosis potion William and Christina developed and worked on, which they actually had Hiram's help as well? How does it work all together? But before we go into that, let's talk a little bit more about Ruby and Hillary. So Ruby wakes up as a white woman, stumbles down the street, and runs into this little black kid in her old neighborhood looking for help. And just police pull up and it's crazy. They literally start making up a story on the spot against this kid and beating him up with no real evidence. Something that happens in town today, we already know. But Ruby/Hillary tells him like, no, he didn't do anything. He good. They eventually grab her, put her in the car, and take her back to William's house because he said they were looking for him, or he told the cops, go find my wife, and that's his wife, blah, blah, whatever. While that's going on, we find out Montrose, well, not us, Tick finds out Montrose has burned the pages, destroyed them, and he knows he killed, Yama. I think that's how you pronounce it. He begins to beat the brakes off of Montrose. He going in. He is trying to kill this man. This is not a, why you do that. This is a, you need to die now. Beating. Letty had to grab people to get him off of him. He was just letting all that anger out on Montrose. Upset about, the pages, killing that girl, and just, history. You beat me forever. Now it's my time to beat you. I'm big enough. I'm gonna beat the brakes off you. Beat him so bad. Oh, so bad. Letty tells Tick like, hey, I don't like that side of you. It's very violent. It scares me. I don't like it. He ends up letting her know like, look, I didn't know that violence was in me. I found it when I was in the war. I don't want to, that's not who I am though. All this stuff. And of course they have this moment where they open up each other and they get it on. That's how it happens in these series. People do something bad, share their feelings, and then they get to have, all the fun. Anyway, Montrose ends up going to his lover's house, Sam, which we learn now that Montrose is gay, which kind of starts to fit pieces together, because throughout the series they were talking about like, hey, your dad's going over with Sam back behind the bar and all this stuff. So he's clearly fighting what he is and ashamed of it, but it's the 60s, so it's kind of what it was back then. Unfortunately, we've grown and evolved slightly, not a lot, just slightly, still trying to progress. But yeah, he ends up staying with Sam for a while. They end up going to a drag show where Montrose has this moment of clarity where he's like, I'm gay. I am who I am. He doesn't say this, but you can see this. It's visually shot to where he's accepting who he is in this drag show, and he's making out with Sam in front of people, or at least people at the drag show, where he is seemingly becoming accepting of who he is. It's a great moment for someone who's gay and realizes they're gay and like opens up to it and is not ashamed of it. I just didn't want Montrose to have it because he's done some shady stuff. Just shady stuff. He's not the best character right now. Yes, if you get to that eventually, after he's done some more good deeds, I'm totally fine with it. For him to have that moment sucked. But it goes with the episodes, you know, everybody being who they are in their own skin. After that, we get Ruby, you know, going back out as Hillary, seeing the world, and she's just like, wow, is this how the other half lives? And she's just seeing how no one, like, looking at her not as human, and it's a amazing feeling to her. But then, of course, William's like, look, I gave you this gift, but I'm gonna need a favor from you. And she's like, of course, nobody gives anybody in this world for free. So she's like, William's like, well, Christina's gonna need a favor. She'll tell you when that time comes. So Ruby's like, fine, I'll do it when it comes. At this time, Tick is deciphering the pictures because Letty took pictures of the pages before Montrose to show him. So they have pictures of the pages. He's using his ring to decipher the pages and figure out this language that, what is it? I forgot the name of the language. It's in the book of names. I forgot the name of the language, but he's trying to figure out the language so he can use this magic to protect his family. And this is when he tells Letty, like, hey, just so you know, Montrose killed that woman. He didn't let her go. He killed her. And Letty's like, oh my God, this is terrible. Why is this going on? This magic is dangerous. It's the devil. And he's like, not the devil. It's what you use to it. It's how you use it. Some people choose to do bad things. Some people choose to do good things. And she's like, no, it's devil. It's the devil. She is hell bent on like, it's the devil. So we're probably going to see what's going on with that later on. That's going to come back around. I'm pretty sure. But, was on her first day at the job. Oh, I forgot to tell you guys this. She went on an interview at, Marshall Fields, got the job. This guy named Paul interviewed her, got the job, got assistant manager, got above what she thought she was going to get. So her first day on the job, she's talking to Tamara, the only black female that works there. She was like, hey, what did you do to prepare for this, blah, blah, this. And Tamara was like, I didn't do nothing. I just applied on a whim. And Ruby's like, okay, but she's Hillary, Ruby Hillary. She's like, okay, but you can do this and you can do that, right? She's like, nope, can't do any of that. And you can see Ruby feel some type of way. Like, I did all this time preparing for this job, taking extra classes to show I'm qualified, to be overqualified, and you did nothing and you got the job. So there's a little bit of resentment, a little bit of jealousy there. And then she finds out that, Tamara doesn't even have anything past a 7th grade education. So she's really hurt and she's trying to figure out, why did you get this job over me? Which we thought, at least I thought, she was going to help Tamara out, you know, let a black woman helping a black woman. But then it became another kind of anger in her, resentment of her getting it over her. Then we go to Hillary, aka, Ruby Hillary, hanging out with the other white, sales women and them dancing and them like, hey, let's go down to the south side. We want to, you know, go with the colors, hang out with them. And Hillary ends up telling Tamara to, help them go to a club, take them to a club. But before that, William comes and tells, Ruby, I need you to do that favor now for Christine. The favor is Christine wants her to go serve at the lodge where Lancaster is. I think it's his lodge. I believe so. They're having a party. He wants them to serve during the party and slip in this stone rock thing with that weird squared symbol with the eye in it. It's on all the hieroglyphs in the book and stuff that Tick is translating. So I'm pretty sure it's some kind of sorcery to keep tabs on Lancaster, see what he's doing. In the process of putting it in his office, Lancaster comes in her office, so she has to hide. There's this guy with his tongue ripped out in the closet that's being hung there. I don't know what's going on with him. It's very interesting. So Ruby's hiding in the closet with this guy, trying to keep him quiet, while Lancaster's talking about how some people left the organization because of somebody's death. I missed who death it was. Somebody died. I think it was Christina's dad, I believe, but maybe. But how he should be taking over and all this stuff for this lodge in Chicago. Lancaster's in the office changing his shirt, and you can see that it's black skin under his shirt. It's like stitched in. It looks like Frankenstein. Like he's got a black torso that's been stitched, which is very weird. Hopefully we find out what's going on with that, because that's bonkers. Oh, I do remember he said something about making sure these two cops protect, I forgot the name of it, but they're protecting some building. I forgot the name of it. I forgot what it's called. But they're supposed to be protecting it. They end up leaving. Ruby puts the thing in the office and she gets out. She talks to Christina later on, and she's like, why'd you tell me that was a cop, that how dangerous that is, and something like this. And Christina hits her with that this cop thought he killed William and trying to take his seat and all this other stuff, which I'm like, okay, who is William? Since we know Christina is William, she's using him. Who was William? What was he in this organization? So I'm really interested about that. But then we end up going to, the nightclub on the South Side with the white women and, Ruby and Ruby as Hillary, and Paul is with them. They're at the club watching people dance, and then Paul takes Tamara in the back and is kind of trying to rape her, basically. Ruby sees this as Hillary, and I guess she wants to get revenge on him. So she ends up telling him, like, hey, I'm quitting the store because I'm too attracted to you and I can't work here. And then she tries to seduce him. And then she, for a lack of better words, how should I say this to not be so dirty? She impales him with her shoe. Let's say it that way. But she also waits till she's about to transform back into Ruby to do it, because she wants him to know a black woman did this to him. Crazy scene. Crazy. Amazing. The way it's shot. Crazy scene. But then Ruby comes back and she's talking to William, who's coming up from the basement. Ruby's like, what are you guys doing in the basement? Why are you guys making all these noises in the basement? What's going on? William's like, not right now. I'll tell you later. And then he ends up starts to transform. And that's when we learn that Christina is William. And she's like, oh my God, you've been him the whole time. Blah, blah, this. Crazy. And then at the end of the episode, Tick deciphers some words. And I think it said he's going to die. He calls somebody. And it's the lady that, the lady that was in the fight with him on episode 2. And she was like, I told you, that's my dog, so you're gonna let him bark. I told you that, you shouldn't have went back. Something like that, and the episode ends. So, in the preview, we see that the episode's gonna deal with what happened in the war. So I'm really excited to see what happens with that. But yeah, that's the episode. Sorry for the dogs. And, let me know what you thought. This is going to be a long one. There's a lot of stuff that happens here. I might have missed some stuff, but yeah, great episode. Love this series. It's just getting better and better with each episode right now. But thank you guys for listening. As always, check out all the other stuff I have, all the other content series, live watches, podcast comes out every Wednesday. Thanks for listening, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.